Alright, so hi everyone. So today we're working on a 2011 Kia Sorento, and the reason we're here is because my daughter reported that there was a noise coming from the front end, and I went underneath the car and I checked everywhere, and I recently put on new struts, so I knew it wasn't that. And I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna rock this car. It's the only way I was able to find this noise, but you'll hear it, so listen. So if you're able to hear that, what I'm doing is I'm rocking the car from left to right, and that's when I was able to actually put my hand down, and I don't know if you can see it up in there, but that right there is a stabilizer, and that's what went bad on this one. So I'm gonna do a video here of how to replace that. Okay, so after we get the tire off, we put a jack stand underneath there just to have an additional safety feature in there next to your jack. And now you can clearly see the stabilizer bar that I'm going to replace. So we got a top part here and bottom part's down there. So one issue I'm going to have with this is when I replace these struts, I made the mistake of putting red Loctite on here, so I'm gonna have to heat this up to remove this bolt. So the next step I'm gonna do is remove this top bolt from the stabilizer bar. But because I recently put struts on here, I use red Loctite. It will need to be heated to 500 degrees to melt the red Loctite so I can get this off. Don't ask me why I put the red Loctite on. I probably wasn't thinking straight when I put it on here. But anyway, I've got this heat gun, and I'm gonna put it on here for a few minutes. So I'm gonna turn it on high, and then I'm gonna cut back in when it's at the 5-minute mark. Okay, it's been about 4 minutes. I heated it up, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove it. We'll see what happens. Had to use this wrench behind there because the whole bolt was spinning. Okay, and now we're going to remove the bottom bolt, which is kind of down here. It's a little hard to see. All right, so what we decided to do was come over on this side and try to take this top bolt off. Remember, this has Loctite on it too, so I'm going to heat it up for a few minutes and then use the impact to get it off. And then my theory is, the problem we're facing here is this bolt is in the way of this arm. So I guess I could probably try a couple things, but I'm going to try to take this top off on both sides, and I think this stabilizer bar here will drop, and then we can get to the bolt. At least that's what we're going to try next. Okay, so we're going to put the wrench on here, and we're going to put the impact on here, and we're going to see if we can break this one. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, that one came off nice and easy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to take this one off, and we're going to take it off on the other side and see if we can get that to drop. All right, so I'm back on the other side. We're on the driver's side, and we're going to take, yep, see how that works? That's what I was hoping would happen. So what happened there, if you can see this, is this bar dropped down, so now I can get my impact on there and get that off. So that's what we're going to do next. I dropped the bar all the way, and now I'll be able to get my impact wrench on that. Okay, now what we're going to do is try to remove the bottom bolt. Okay, see how easy that was? All right, we're going to leave this here until we get the other part. Okay, so we went out and we bought these Moog replacement parts, and I just wanted to show you there is a difference. This is a K7 50204, and this is the left side, which is the driver's side, and this one over here is the K7 50205. And at first it doesn't look like there's a difference if you look at them. And there actually is a slight difference in the angle, and I'll show you. So this came off the passenger side. This is the existing part, and this white part was towards the top. So if you kind of look at the old, this is the new one, this is the old one. I don't know if you can get a good angle there. You can see how that's the same exact angle. So you can see them side by side, it's the same angle. Now if you look at the driver's side one, you can kind of see the bottom there, how you have a different angle. So you can kind of see that there is a difference in these two. They look very similar, but the angle's different. So just be careful when you make sure if you order them both, and you should replace both at the same time, that you get two different part numbers and not the same part. So we took this off the passenger side, we matched it up to this one, it's the same angle, and we're going to go ahead and install this one. And notice the Moog has, the reason I got this is it has grease fittings. What we did is we got the new Moog part on, and we're tightening this bottom bolt, and the spec calls for 81 foot-pounds, so I have the torque wrench on. Okay, so now we got we're on the driver's side, and we're going to take the bottom bolt out now that we removed both of the tops on both sides, and we're going to, hopefully this will come off with the impact here. Okay, made it easy. And I'm going to take this, put a little bit of grease in it before, this is the new one. Since we have the other side on, it makes it a lot easier. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the driver's side out, and we're going to line it up with the Moog. So if you look at the angles, got it right. If we flip it around, okay, you see how that works? As long as we got the correct side in the right part, we should be good to go. So I greased it up, and we're going to go ahead and put it on. We're going to start the same way we did the other one on the other side. Remember, we don't have the top hooked up on the other side yet. So we're going to literally do the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to get this in, and we're going to torque this to 81 pounds as well. Okay, so what we're going to do here on the top is we're just going to kind of get this bolt started, and then we're going to finish it off with the torque wrench. Rather than me just use a ratchet, it'll take a few seconds because there's a lot of turns here. I'm just going to kind of make this go a lot faster. Okay, and as it starts tightening up, what we'll do here is we will torque it. Now again, my torque wrench is set to 81 pounds. Shouldn't need to hold the back anymore, but just in case, we'll keep that on there. And yeah, just a little bit. And then once it starts grabbing, you don't need this anymore. So I can feel it right now. It's not, we'll just leave it there to show you that it's not going anymore. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the torque wrench clicks. Okay, so there's 81 pounds right there. Okay, so we already did the other side, so now you can clearly see, the new part's on. There's the bottom, there's the top. Got them both torqued to 81 pounds on both sides. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna put the tire on. And then at the beginning of the video, I showed you how I shook the car and you could hear that thudding sound. We're really gonna hope that these new replacements have taken that sound away. All right, so we got both stabilizer links on. We got the tires put back on. We got everything torqued back down. The tires torque, I think, was 90 pounds. We torqued all the tires down. We checked them all. So I'm gonna rock the car laterally the same way I did before. And we're gonna get inside and take it for a ride. The squeak is gone.